Today is actually a meal prep Monday video, and I'm really excited about this one in particular because I'm gonna kind of switch things up a little bit different from what I have been doing in the past. So in my last meal prep Monday video, I incorporated a home chef meal and I got another delivery today. I've been getting them like once a month just because I don't feel as though I personally need them every week because I like to kind of make my own things. But I did get one today, and so I actually thought to myself that this would be a good idea to take what I've got from the home chef and then make my own little sides with them plus my regular meal prep Monday foods, because I feel like these things are great for dinners, you know, like they serve two and you can make it really, really quick with the Home Chef Express. This is one that we're gonna make today. It's the Prosciutto Penne pasta. That would only last me about 1 to 2 days max if Austin didn't eat it all. So I was like, okay, let's go through the other ones that I got and let's take some things from this meal, some things from that meal, and let's kind of like pop it together to make my own sides, because I do have to prep some ground turkey, and I got a bag of Brussels sprouts, some carrots, and some green beans. So we're gonna make a couple different sides today so that you can see how it ends up prepping. And these things will probably last me like 4 to 5 days, as well as the ground turkey that I'm gonna make, but I'll show you guys all that. So welcome to today's video. I hope you guys enjoy, and let's just get cooking. So one of my favorite sides, literally no matter what food I have, is always sweet potatoes. And I just feel like they're so versatile. You can do them sweet or savory, and with it being fall, I decided that I was gonna do thinly sliced sweet potato chips, and I'm just gonna kind of make them a little bit more sweet. So they're gonna be like a cinnamon sugar type coating, and all I do is spray them with coconut oil spray and then top with some ground cinnamon and just regular old cinnamon sugar. If you wanted to get extra sweet with these, you can always add honey or maple syrup. The only reason I don't do that is because that doesn't heat up as well. And these guys, even though they're not gonna be as crispy as day one, they still reheat pretty well, and you can pair them with any side. And that's kind of typically how I've always enjoyed doing my meal prep, because once I'm done with this and I go in my fridge, I have so many different options to create a different meal every day, instead of just like confining myself to one specific meal throughout the whole week and getting bored of it, you know? Arrange these guys on my baking sheet and then get coating, and they're gonna go in the oven at 400 degrees, and I'm gonna flip them halfway through, probably about like 15 to 20 minutes. You just don't wanna get them too burnt because they can burn really quickly since they are super thin. Brussels sprouts from the salmon meal and the carrots from the pork chop meal, and I'm actually gonna put them together and make another kind of sweet dish, but this is gonna be in the air fryer. A lot of you guys asked me about my air fryer, by the way, and it's just from Target. It's a Dash version, and it's just a really small one because, to be honest, I don't use it too much. But I'm just going to cut the stems off the Brussels sprouts, half them, and then chop up the carrots, and I'm gonna create kind of like a maple syrup glaze for them, and all of that's just gonna go in the air fryer. Same thing, you just pop it in, keep an eye on it while you're cooking everything up. Took the green beans and the crispy onions out from that one other meal from the Home Chef, and I'm just literally going to add the green beans with the crispy onions, spray them with some coconut oil, salt, and pepper. I just recently got this new seasoning from McCormick, and it's garlic, onion, black pepper, and sea salt, which is kind of basic, but I will say you have to always salt and pepper your food as like a base before you add the other flavors like onions or garlic or paprika or something. You always want to at least start with salt and pepper. So I kind of like the spices that mix everything together, so you get a little bit of everything. So these guys I'm gonna cook over medium heat, like low to medium, and they will just saute nicely. I'll probably put a lid on them. Get a little crispy with the onions, and those will sit while we start the actual meats. How I kind of think about my meal prep when I'm doing it is like, if I'm gonna have a higher fat protein source, like salmon for example, I always want to also prep a very lean protein source so that if I'm gonna have the salmon for dinner, I can kind of balance it out with my fats for the day with the lean ground turkey for lunch. And the thing with lean ground turkey is it can get pretty gross, but I've kind of mastered the technique of cooking it. And the key that I think makes it less dry and more manageable is cooking it in some type of salsa. The salsa just kind of brings the flavor to lock into the turkey and it's not as dry. You can use any salsa you want. I just have this Tostitos mild from Hy-Vee. Nothing fancy here, but I do already have black beans, jasmine rice, and broccoli prepped already in my fridge. So I was kind of thinking, okay, I grabbed the extra lean ground turkey, I'll cook that up with the salsa, and then I'll be able to throw a turkey taco bowl together throughout the week. Or if I wanted to, I could also pair the green beans with that and the sweet potato fries and kind of make it a little bit different of like a meal instead of a bowl. So either way, I'm going to season up this salmon from the Home Chef, and this is like probably 6-ounce portions here. Very basic seasoning, just salt, pepper, and then a little bit of seafood seasoning from Primal Palette. And then the lean ground turkey, I will show you guys step by step how to make it taste awesome. I just recently discovered this Dax Spices. This has no salt, and I got a citrus groove one that I feel like would be really good on salmon because usually I put lemon on it, but I kind of want to test this out. So I'm just gonna top this with a little bit of the citrus grove and see how it is. So because my sweet potatoes are already in the oven at 400, I'm just gonna put this on the bottom rack, and while I'm in there, check on those guys and make sure they're not burning and flip them if I need to. So they're not like quite ready yet, and they're still pretty soggy on the other side. So I'm gonna give them probably like 5 more minutes in the oven, and then I'll flip them. I think you have to be a really good multitasker to do this, by the way. Because as I'm like standing here, I'm like shaking this in the air fryer to make sure that doesn't burn. There's a lot going on behind the scenes that you guys aren't seeing right now. So this is literally all I'm going to do is take this chunky Tostita salsa, and I'm going to kind of coat it because it's got like onions and some green peppers in there, I think too. So we're gonna put that on the turkey, and then I'm gonna use that same McCormick spice as well as the Primal Palette taco seasoning spice. Just gonna kind of mix those two together and chop that up. Not chop, saute that up. Ground turkey is also to cook it on low medium, and just make sure that you don't cook it too high and brown it too quickly. And you have to make sure it cooks all the way through, obviously. Salmon only needs probably like 10 minutes, maybe 12 max, because there's 2 different things on your oven. So with salmon, it kind of depends on how you prefer to eat it. I like to eat it a little bit soft, so I try to go with the 10-minute side, but because I have 2 portions in there, it may take a little bit longer. And I know this is kind of something that I've like learned from my mom, because some people always ask me like, what's the exact time and the exact temperature, and I'm like, I don't know, because I just kind of like look at it and I can kind of tell. So same thing with the Brussels sprouts and carrots, which I'm going to show you right now, kind of what they should look like on the outer edges. If you wanted to crisp them up a little bit more, you could, but again, just depends on how much you like your food to be browned on the edges. This is how I can kind of tell that these guys are done. The crispy onions, they're very crispy. And the green beans have like a nice glossy texture to them, and I can tell that they're not like super soggy, which is how I like to eat them. So I'm gonna go ahead and let these rest in a glass Pyrex. Add some of the crispy onions to this so that like when I add it to my meal prep, whatever meal I'm making, I can still get some of those crispy onions in there. They're actually really good. I have found a newfound love for crispy onions. Okay, so these guys are done too. Like this. Oh, yeah. Okay, so that's finishing. And then, the reason why I personally really like the Home Chef Express, I like all of them, but I just feel like for a convenience factor, the Home Chef Express one is really good because you can literally just toss everything into either the oven or the bowl and just you're good to go in like 15 minutes. This also helps with Austin as well because with feeding a large man, he often eats a lot of my meal prepped food, and so having something like this that I can readily take out of the fridge already good to go saves a lot of time with prepping, also saves me my food, and it's just an easy way to get a really good hearty meal in without having to like take a bunch of stuff and create a meal yourself, if that makes sense. So I'm going to make this Home Chef Express little penne pasta thing. The reason why I think this is awesome is because they gave me cooked penne pasta. So I don't have to cook the pasta, and being an Italian, you would think I would really enjoy that, but I actually don't like boiling pasta. All you have to do is half the tomatoes, cook the prosciutto, and then you throw the pasta in and kind of throw everything together. This is one of those meals where it would be just like kind of a grab and go already prepared, whereas I like to make mine separated sides, separated proteins and vegetables and everything, and then make as I go. But on nights where you need something already ready, or you know, if your boyfriend eats all your meal prep food, then you have this going for you. How to tell if your salmon is done? That smells fire. Gosh. Okay. Just cut it in the middle. This is like perfect. That's what you want. You want your salmon to look like perfectly pink. I don't prefer mine raw. Some people can eat it like that, but it slides. Like I know I just botched my salmon piece, but just to show you guys, this is how you should be able to cut your salmon. Like very flaky, cuts really easily. Guess we're doing salmon slices for meal prep. It's also cool too because if you didn't want to use the entire fillet of salmon, you can chop it up like this, and then you can also throw it onto salads cold, which then gives you a whole nother meal that you can use. So, and I always take the bottom of the skin off. You can also throw this into pastas if you prefer eating your salmon with pasta or a rice bowl. There's just like so many different things you can do. And I love salmon so much. That's that. Then we just gotta check on our sweet potatoes. They're probably almost done. Okay, so actually that's pretty like almost perfect. Some of those smaller guys, like they'll get super duper crispy and you don't want them all to turn like that. It's okay if a couple pieces do, but I kind of prefer them to be like half crispy like this. See this, they'll have like a bite to them. Oh my gosh, those are so good. I love like the sweet potatoes. Okay. Just as a reference, we started at 1:30 and it's 2:20 and I already have 5 things prepped. That's how quickly you can do this when you do it in bulk. I just think it's so much simpler than to like trying to come up with like a specific meal plan and like make individual meals. I just feel like this is so much better. But this is what the final product was. Literally took me an hour on the dot to make all of this. The key is you gotta do multiple things at once. It takes a little bit of practice, and when you first do it, it might seem a little bit overwhelming or chaotic, but I promise once you get into a good routine, it's super easy. Basically, like I said, I already have more rice and black beans, as well as a little bit more ground beef in my fridge, but now I have chicken thighs I already prepped, salmon, ground turkey, some prosciutto in that pasta, so I can literally make ground turkey bowls, I can make salmon, broccoli, and sweet potato. I can make salmon Brussels sprouts and sweet potato, rice, green beans. I mean, there's just so many different combinations that I can make, and it just helps really keeping you like not so bored or eating the same foods over and over again. That's just basically how I like to do my meal prep. A little bit of this, a little bit of that. And if you want to check out the Home Chef, I definitely recommend the Express if you're looking to save time on your meal prep. And I will leave the link in the description box below, as well as the code. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to click subscribe so you never miss a Monday with Manners. And I will see you guys in my next one.